Admiral Taiwan stood in Earth's Defense Command Center, his eyes fixed on the emergency reports flooding the main screen. The Meridian Empire had just attacked 3 human colony worlds without warning. Their ships appeared from nowhere, destroying the outer defense stations before anyone could raise the alarm. "How many casualties?" Taiwan asked, his voice steady despite the chaos around him. Captain Su Jin checked her data tablet. 2,000 dead in the first hour. The colonists didn't have time to reach their shelters. She paused, her hands tightening on the tablet. The Meridians didn't even ask for surrender. They just started killing. Taiwan nodded slowly. The Meridians had made the same mistake many others had made throughout human history. They thought a quick, brutal attack would break humanity's spirit. They didn't understand that humans had evolved as prey animals who turned into predators, and they were most dangerous when threatened. "Show me their attack pattern," he ordered. The main screen displayed a map of human space. The Meridian ships moved in perfect military formation, following textbook invasion strategies. Their ships were more advanced, their weapons more powerful. They clearly expected an easy victory. Lieutenant Juho rushed into the command center with more data. "Sir, we intercepted their communications. They're calling this Operation Swift Conquest. They think they can take our colonies in 3 days and reach Earth in a week." A small smile crossed Taiwan's face. "They really don't know anything about human history, do they?" He turned to his staff. "Send them a message. One chance to retreat. Tell them exactly what will happen if they continue." The Meridian commander's reply came quickly. "Primitive species should accept their place in the galaxy. Surrender now and become our servants, or be destroyed." Taiwan read the message twice. The Meridians saw humans as primitives because Earth had only recently developed space travel. They didn't realize that humans had spent thousands of years fighting each other, developing ways to win against superior forces. "Send the response I prepared," he ordered. The message was simple. "You have made 2 mistakes. First, you killed humans who couldn't fight back. Second, you assumed we would break easily. We will show you why both these mistakes will cost you everything." Taiwan turned to his command staff. "Release Protocol Alpha. Authorization code. Remember Earth." Around the room, officers began sending coded messages to hidden human bases and sleeper ships. The Meridians thought they knew where all human forces were. They were wrong. "They expect us to fight like other species," Taiwan said quietly. "To follow the rules of space warfare. To be civilized." He walked to the main window, looking up at the stars. "They don't understand that humans never forgot how to fight like our ancestors. When threatened, we don't worry about looking civilized. We worry about survival." In space, human ships began to move, but not in the ways the Meridians expected. Instead of gathering for a big battle, the ships scattered, disappearing into the darkness. The humans weren't preparing for a traditional space war. They were preparing to hunt. "Send word to all commands," Taiwan ordered. "The Meridians want to teach us our place in the galaxy." His eyes hardened as he watched the enemy ships advancing. "Then let's teach them why humanity's place has always been at the top of the food chain." The war that would change the galaxy forever had begun. The Meridians thought they were starting a simple conquest. Instead, they had awakened something that would haunt their nightmares. Humanity fighting for survival. Captain Su Jin watched from her command chair as the Meridian warships passed through the asteroid field. The enemy ships moved in perfect formation, their sensors scanning for human vessels. They didn't bother to look at the asteroids themselves. Why would they? Asteroids were just space rocks, not worth their attention. "All ships report ready," Lieutenant Jiho whispered through the secure channel. "The Meridians still haven't detected us." Su Jin smiled. Her ships weren't hiding behind the asteroids. They were inside them. Human engineers had spent months hollowing out selected rocks, turning them into hidden bases and spacecraft carriers. The Meridians' advanced sensors were looking for engine signatures and metal hulls, not suspicious-looking rocks. "Remember, Su-Jin told her crews, "We fight like our ancestors fought tigers and bears. We don't need to be stronger. We just need to be smarter and more determined." The Meridian fleet moved closer. Their ships were beautiful, with smooth silver hulls that could deflect most weapons. They had ruled space for centuries, and they fought wars like they were playing chess. Every piece had its proper move, every battle its proper form. "Now," Su-Jin ordered. The asteroids exploded outward. Hidden engines fired, sending chunks of rock flying at the Meridian ships. The enemy's energy shields, designed to stop weapons, had never been programmed to stop simple rocks. As the Meridians tried to dodge the asteroid fragments, human ships emerged from other rocks behind them. "They're breaking formation," Jiho reported. The Meridian ships scattered, trying to escape the rain of rocks and find clear space to fight. But that was exactly what Su-Jin had planned for. "Release the hunter groups," she commanded. Small groups of 3 or 4 human ships moved out, each targeting a separated Meridian vessel. The humans didn't try to match the Meridian's superior technology. Instead, they fought like pack hunters, working together to bring down larger prey. "This isn't proper space combat," the Meridian commander protested over the open channel. "You're fighting like animals." "We are animals," Su-Jin replied calmly. "Very clever animals who learn to survive against bigger predators. And now you're learning why that matters." The battle that followed shocked the Meridian forces. Human ships didn't stay in formation. They didn't follow any pattern. Each group adapted its tactics to the situation, just as human hunters had adapted to different prey throughout history. When Meridian ships tried to combine their shield power, humans would force them apart. When the Meridians tried to retreat, they found more armed asteroids waiting behind them. Status report. Su-Jin called out after an hour of fighting. 6 Meridian capital ships destroyed. Jiho answered. 4 more heavily damaged. Their formation is completely broken. They're calling for help. Su-Jin nodded. "Send word to Admiral Tawan. Tell him the trap worked, and send a message to the Meridians." This was just the first lesson in how humans hunt. As she watched the surviving Meridian ships flee, Su-Jin thought about Earth's history. Humans had started as prey animals, always watching for danger. But they had learned to be predators, combining intelligence with determination. Now the Meridians were learning this history the hard way. "All ships, prepare for pursuit," she ordered. "Remember, we're not just fighting a battle. We're teaching the galaxy why you should never corner a species that turned itself from prey into the ultimate predator." Major Jae-seok walked through his underground laboratory, checking the latest test results. Around him, teams of scientists worked on projects that would have seemed impossible just weeks ago. The Meridian attack had pushed human innovation to new limits. "Show me the gravity weapon tests," he ordered, stopping at a large screen. The video showed a small device creating a concentrated gravity field that could tear apart enemy ships. The Meridians thought their advanced shields could stop any weapon. They never expected humans to turn gravity itself into a weapon. Lieutenant Jiho entered the lab, carrying new battle reports. "The Meridians lost another fleet yesterday. They still don't understand how we're beating their technology." Jae-seok nodded, moving to another workstation. "They think technology wins wars. They forget that humans won wars with sticks and stones before we had technology." He picked up a small metal sphere. "This looks simple, doesn't it?" Jiho took the sphere, studying it. "What does it do?" "It turns their shields against them. Their energy barriers are perfect. Nothing can get through. But this device doesn't try to break through. It redirects the shield's energy back into their ships. The stronger their shields, the more damage they take." The lieutenant's eyes widened. "You turned their defense into a weapon." "That's what humans do," Jae-seok explained. "We take what exists and make it do new things. The Meridians create specialized tools for specific jobs. We create tools that can do whatever we need them to do." A scientist called them over to another station. On the screen, A simulation showed a new type of missile. Instead of exploding, it released thousands of tiny robots that could eat through ship hulls. The Meridian's powerful shields couldn't stop something so small. "They call this cruel," Jaiho said, reading the latest Meridian communications. "They say we're fighting without honor." Jai Seok walked to a window overlooking the testing area. "Honor doesn't matter when your species is fighting for survival. Our ancestors didn't survive by fighting fair. They survived by being clever and determined." In the testing chamber below, scientists were working on another project. They had found a way to turn the Meridians faster than light drives into traps. When enemy ships tried to escape at light speed, they would tear themselves apart. "Every time they show us new technology, we find a way to turn it against them," Jai Seok said. "They attack our colonies, so we learn to make their own weapons destroy them. They threaten our people, so we show them why humans are the most dangerous species they've ever faced." A message arrived from Admiral Tawan. The Meridians were gathering their forces for a major attack. They thought that bringing more ships with bigger weapons would save them. "Deploy everything," Jai Seok ordered. "Let them see what happens when they force humans to get creative." He looked at the rows of new weapons his team had created. "And send them a message. Every time they escalate this war, we will show them new ways to fear us." As the deployment orders went out, Jai Seok thought about how this war had changed everything. The Meridians had started this fight thinking they were the masters of warfare. Now they were learning that humans didn't just use weapons. They turned everything into a weapon when they needed to survive. Commander Harin stood before the gathered military leaders, her hand steady as she pointed to the hologram of a star system. The room was silent as she explained Project Prometheus, humanity's most terrifying weapon yet. "We've learned how to turn stars into weapons," she said simply. The hologram showed a normal star beginning to pulse with strange energy. "We can make a star go supernova on command, destroying everything in its system." Admiral Tawan leaned forward. "You've found a way to weaponize stars themselves." "Yes, sir." Harin changed the hologram to show the calculations. "Every star is already a massive nuclear reactor. We just learned how to turn that power against our enemies. The Meridians think their advanced shields can stop any weapon. But there's no shield in the galaxy that can stop an exploding star." Captain Sujin studied the data carefully. "How many Meridian systems are vulnerable to this?" "All of them," Harin answered. "Every populated system needs a star, and now every star is a potential weapon." She paused, letting that sink in. "We don't even need to reach their core worlds. We can destroy their outer systems and let the fear do the rest." The room stayed quiet as everyone understood what this meant. Humans had just changed the nature of warfare forever. It wasn't about ships or soldiers anymore. Every star in the galaxy had become a possible doomsday weapon. "The test was successful," Harin continued, showing new images. "We used it on an uninhabited system. The star went supernova exactly as calculated. Nothing within 50 light-years survived." Major Jai Seok shook his head in amazement. The Meridians thought their technology made them unstoppable. Now they'll learn that humans don't just use weapons. We turn the universe itself into a weapon when we need to. Harin activated another hologram, showing Meridian fleet movements. They're gathering for another attack. They think bringing more ships will help them win. They don't understand that we've moved beyond ships and guns. Admiral Tawan stood up slowly. "Send them one morning. Show them the recording of our test. Let them see what we can do to their worlds if they continue this war." The warning was sent. The Meridian response came an hour later. Their leaders couldn't believe what they had seen. Their message was full of shock and fear. "This is impossible. No species would dare use such a weapon. This breaks every rule of warfare." "They still don't understand humans," Harin said quietly. "When we fight for survival, we don't care about rules. We care about winning." The next day, Harin received orders to prepare Project Prometheus for use against military targets. As she worked, she thought about how the galaxy would change after this. The Meridians had started this war thinking they were the most powerful force in space. Now they were learning that they had pushed humanity too far. "Begin final preparations," she told her team. "It's time to show the galaxy why you should never force humans to get creative with their weapons." The stars themselves were about to become humanity's tools of war. The galaxy would never be the same after this, and every species watching would learn a crucial lesson. When threatened, humans don't just fight with weapons. They turn everything, even the fundamental forces of the universe, into weapons. Lieutenant Jiho stared at the laboratory screens, watching as his latest experiment tore a hole in space itself. The wormhole technology that aliens used for peaceful travel had become humanity's newest weapon. Behind him, Admiral Ta-1 watched with intense focus. "Show me again," Ta-1 ordered. "Show me exactly what happens." Jiho nodded and started the test sequence. A small wormhole opened in the test chamber, but instead of creating a stable path through space, it began to twist and pull at everything around it. The artificial gravity in the chamber couldn't stop the powerful forces at work. "We changed how the wormhole forms," Jiho explained. "Instead of making a clean tunnel through space, we make it unstable. It pulls apart anything that comes near it." He showed a recording of an earlier test where a derelict ship was torn to pieces by the twisted wormhole. "The Meridians won't expect this," Tai-1 said quietly. "They think wormholes are for travel. They've never imagined using them as weapons." Just then, Captain Su-Jin entered the lab with urgent news. "The Meridian Empire is splitting apart," she reported. "After we destroyed that star system, many of their worlds want to surrender, but their military leaders want to keep fighting. Then we'll show them something even worse than exploding stars," Jiho said. He brought up a map of Meridian space. "We can open these unstable wormholes anywhere. Their ships, their stations, even their planets won't be safe." The Admiral studied the map carefully. "How many of these weapons can we deploy?" "We've built 20 so far. Each one can tear apart a space station or a small moon." Jiho paused, then added, "And we're making them bigger." A message arrived from Commander Herin's team. Project Prometheus had successfully destroyed another star system, this one containing major Meridian shipyards. The enemy was running out of places to build their warships. "Their empire is breaking," Su-Jin observed. "They started this war thinking we were primitive. Now they're learning that humans don't stay primitive when threatened. We evolve. We adapt. We turn their own technology against them." Jiho activated another test sequence. This time, the unstable wormhole grew larger, its edges crackling with strange energy. "We're not just winning the war," he said. "We're changing how wars can be fought. After this, every species in the galaxy will know that humans can turn anything into a weapon." Admiral Ta-1 watched the wormhole tear apart everything in the test chamber. He remembered how the war started, with the Meridians attacking human colonies without warning. They thought humanity would be an easy target. Instead, they had awakened something terrible: humanity's full potential for warfare. "Deploy the wormhole weapons," he ordered. "Target their remaining military bases. Show them that there's nowhere left to hide." He turned to leave the lab, then stopped. "And send a message to their leaders. Tell them that this is what happens when you force humans to discover new ways to fight." As the Admiral left, Jiho looked at his creation. The Meridians had started this war with advanced technology and centuries of military tradition, but they were learning that humans didn't care about tradition. When fighting for survival, humans would break every rule, change every law of physics, and turn the universe itself into a weapon. Research Director Yuna walked through the ruins of what had once been a Meridian research station. Her team followed behind, scanning everything with their instruments. The destruction they found told a story that would change how the galaxy thought about warfare forever. "Look at these readings," she said, pointing to her scanner. "The unstable wormhole didn't just destroy the station. It changed the space around it. Nothing can ever be built here again. She made another note in her report about the lasting effects of human weapons. Lieutenant Jiho joined her, carrying his own readings. The Meridians thought they understood space warfare. They had rules for everything: how to fight, how to defend, how to retreat. But we changed all their rules. Yuna nodded, remembering how the war had evolved. First, humans had turned asteroids into weapons. Then they had created devices that turned enemy shields against them. After that came the gravity weapons, the star-destroying Project Prometheus, and finally the unstable wormholes that tore holes in space itself. We didn't just win the war, she said quietly. We changed warfare itself. Look at these battle sites. Other species focused on destroying ships and stations. We focused on making space itself dangerous to our enemies. Her team found more evidence of how human weapons had transformed the battlefield. Areas where gravity weapons had been used were still disturbed, making normal space travel dangerous. Regions where unstable wormholes had appeared would never be safe for ships again. The Meridians called us primitives, Jiho remembered. They thought that because we were new to space travel, we wouldn't know how to fight in space. They didn't understand that humans would apply our entire history of warfare to space combat. A message arrived from Admiral Tadwan. More Meridian worlds were surrendering after seeing the effects of human weapons. They had realized that fighting humans meant risking not just defeat, but the destruction of their homes, their colonies, and even their stars. We've received messages from other alien species, Yuna told Jiho, checking her communications device. They want to know if our weapons can be defended against. She looked up at the twisted wreckage around them. I told them the truth. Once humans learn to turn something into a weapon, there's no way to make it safe again. As they continued their survey, Yuna thought about how this war would be remembered. The Meridians had attacked Earth thinking they were the masters of space combat. Instead, they had forced humans to show the galaxy something new, that anything could become a weapon in human hands. Add this to the final report, she told her team. The greatest cost of this war isn't the destroyed ships or ruined stations. It's the knowledge we've given the galaxy, that humans, when threatened, will turn the laws of physics themselves into weapons. No defense can stop that. No technology can prevent it. The only way to be safe from human weapons is to never make humans need to use them. The price of victory wasn't just counted in destroyed ships and conquered worlds. It was measured in how humanity had changed the very nature of warfare, turning the predictable rules of space combat into something that would haunt the galaxy's nightmares forever. Colonel Min-Ki walked through the streets of the former Meridian capital world, watching as human medical teams helped injured aliens. Just 3 days ago, this had been enemy territory. Now it was under human protection, and Min-Ki was determined to show the galaxy another side of humanity. The food distribution centers are working well, Captain Su-Jin reported, walking beside him. The local population was surprised when we started helping them. They expected us to be cruel after winning the war. Min-Ki nodded, stopping to watch a human doctor treat a young Meridian child. They don't understand us yet. They saw what we could do in war, but now they're seeing what we can do in peace. A group of Meridian officials approached them nervously. Their leader, still wearing the formal robes of their government, spoke with a shaking voice. We don't understand. Your weapons destroyed our fleets. Your technology ruined entire star systems. Why are you helping us now? Because the war is over, Min-Ki explained simply. You're not our enemies anymore. Now you're people who need help, and humans help people in need. He gestured to the medical teams and aid workers. This is also who we are. The officials watched as human engineers repaired the city's power systems, as doctors treated the sick, and as aid workers distributed supplies. They had expected the humans to be monsters after seeing their weapons in action. Instead, they found helpers and healers. Our reports show similar situations across all occupied worlds. Su-Jin said, checking her data tablet. Wherever we take control, we bring aid. The Meridians can't understand how the same species that weaponize stars can also be so kind. A message arrived from Admiral Tadawun. More Meridian worlds were surrendering, not because they feared human weapons, but because they had heard how humans treated defeated enemies. The galaxy was learning something new about humanity. They could be as generous in victory as they were terrible in war. This is the real victory, Min Ki told his staff during their evening meeting. Not destroying their fleets or breaking their empire, showing them that humans fight so hard because we value life so much. We're not cruel because we want to be. We're cruel in war because we want the war to end quickly so we can get back to helping people. Later that night, Min Ki stood on a balcony overlooking the city. Emergency lights showed human and Meridian medical teams working together, engineers from both species repairing damaged buildings, and children from both worlds playing in the streets. They're starting to understand, Su Jin said, joining him on the balcony. The same determination that made us terrible enemies is what makes us excellent allies. The same creativity that let us turn stars into weapons now helps us solve their problems. Min Ki watched as a human soldier helped a Meridian family repair their home. Send word to command. Tell them the occupation is succeeding not through force, but through kindness. The galaxy feared us for our power in war. Now let them respect us for our humanity and peace. The stars above them no longer held the threat of Project Prometheus or unstable wormholes. Instead, they promised a future where humanity's greatest weapons would be their compassion and their ability to help others rebuild from the ashes of war. General Daejung stood at the center of the Galactic Assembly, where representatives from 100 alien species gathered to discuss the new peace treaty. The massive chamber felt tense. Every species had watched how humans fought the Meridians, and now they waited to learn what humanity would demand in victory. We are not here to create an empire, Daejung began, his voice calm but firm. We are here to build a peace that will last. He activated the room's holographic display, showing the devastated regions of space where human weapons had changed the laws of physics themselves. The alien representatives shifted uncomfortably in their seats. They had all seen the recordings. Stars turned into weapons, wormholes that tore space apart, and gravity itself twisted into a tool of war. Now they watched the human who commanded such power discuss peace. The treaty we propose is simple, Daejung continued. Any species that wants peace with humanity will have it. We will share our knowledge, our resources, and our help. He paused, letting his next words carry their full weight. But if any species chooses war, they must understand what that means. The Meridians learned this lesson the hard way. A representative from a crystalline species stood up. You speak of peace while showing us weapons that can destroy entire star systems. Is this not a threat? No, Daejung answered. It is a truth. Humans do not want war. We are builders, explorers, and helpers. But if forced to fight, we will use everything in the universe as a weapon. This is not a choice we make. It is what we are. He showed new images, human medical teams helping on Meridian worlds, engineers rebuilding cities, and children from different species playing together. This is what we prefer. This is what we offer to all species who choose friendship over conflict. The assembly watched as more images appeared, trade routes being established, cultural exchanges beginning, and joint scientific projects starting. Humanity was showing them a future where their determination and creativity could benefit everyone. Your weapons changed how war works, another representative said. How can we trust such power? You can trust it because you understand it, Daejung explained. Humans fight completely and terribly because we want wars to end quickly. We turn stars into weapons because we want to return to peaceful work. The same passion that makes us dangerous in war makes us valuable in peace. As the assembly discussed the treaty, Daejung noticed how the aliens looked at the human delegation. There was fear there, yes, but also growing respect. They were beginning to understand that humanity's power came not from their weapons, but from their unbreakable will to survive and thrive. The galaxy has changed, he concluded. We cannot undo what the war has shown about human capabilities, but we can choose what happens next. Those who want peace will find no better friends than humans. Those who want war. He let the sentence hang, knowing every species in the room could finish it in their own frightened thoughts. The new galactic order was taking shape. Humanity had shown the galaxy both their greatest terrors and their greatest hopes. Now every species had to decide which side of humanity they wanted to know better. 10 years after the war, Ambassador Hyrie walked through the new Galactic Peace Center on Earth. The building combined architecture from 100 different species, showing how the galaxy had changed since humans proved their power. Behind her, a group of alien diplomats followed, their voices hushed with respect and lingering fear. "This is where we keep the war records," Hyrie explained, leading them into a special museum. The room held videos and artifacts from the conflict that had changed everything. "We preserve these memories not to frighten others, but to remind everyone why peace is so important." The aliens watched recordings of human weapons in action, stars exploding under Project Prometheus, space itself torn apart by unstable wormholes, and gravity turned into a destructive force. But next to each weapon display, there were also images of healing, humans helping rebuild the worlds they had fought against. "Your species terrifies us," one of the alien diplomats admitted, "not just because of your weapons, but because we still don't understand you. How can the same people who destroyed entire star systems also be the ones who work so hard to help others?" Hyrie smiled gently. "That's exactly what makes humans special. We fight completely and terribly when we must, but we work even harder for peace. The same creativity that lets us turn anything into a weapon also lets us find new ways to help people." She showed them the next exhibit, a map of the galaxy showing all the changes since the war. Trade routes now connected former enemies. Scientific teams from different species worked together. The regions devastated by human weapons had become memorials, reminding everyone of the price of war. The Meridians started that war-thinking humans were primitive, Hyrie continued. They thought that because we were new to space travel, we would be easy to defeat. Instead, they learned why Earth's creatures survived millions of years of evolution. Because when threatened, we use everything around us to survive. A young alien student raised their hand. "But if humans are so powerful, why don't you rule the galaxy now? You could force everyone to obey you." "Because that's not what we want," Hyrie explained. "Humans don't want to control others. We want to explore, to build, to create. The war showed what we can do when forced to fight. Peace shows what we prefer to do." As they reached the end of the museum, the final display showed the most important legacy of the war. The number of conflicts prevented simply because someone mentioned asking humans for help. Species that might have fought each other now looked for peaceful solutions, knowing that involving humans might mean facing powers they couldn't understand or stop. "Remember," Hyrie told her visitors, "when you hear people whisper humanity's name in fear, understand what they really fear. Not our weapons, but our determination. Not our power, but our creativity. Not our ability to destroy, but our unlimited potential to change everything we touch." She looked out the window at Earth, the planet that had created such a species. The galaxy learned that humans could turn stars into weapons and space itself into a tool of war. But they also learned something more important, that humans would rather turn their powers toward building a better future for everyone. The legacy of the war wasn't just the fear of human weapons. It was the understanding that humanity's greatest power wasn't their ability to destroy, but their drive to create something better from the ashes of destruction.